Suppose 150 a month was deposited into a 401k for 30 years at a 6.25% annual interest rate. How much is in the account after that time? How much was deposited? How much interest was earned? Okay. Comment. Because it says 150 a month, we are now in the land of annuities, which means we're not putting the money away once or taking out the money once like we were in the previous two sections. We're now doing it multiple times. So that's the first thing you should check. Are you doing it once or more than once? Because we are doing it more than once, to build up the account, that means we need to use a future value. Formula for future value that we'll be using is FV equals PMT times 1 plus R over N to the NT minus 1 all over R over N. Now, if you have an older calculator, all of those parentheses will be very important. If you have a newer calculator, you should still use those parentheses. Sorry. So we're putting 150 away at an interest rate of 6.25% monthly. Notice it does not say compounded monthly, and it doesn't have to because we're dealing with ordinary annuities in our book. Raised to the 12 times 30 minus 1 all over R over N. And I'm going to show you two ways to throw this into the calculator. You pick your favorite. You can do the traditional way of making it look how it looks, so we can use a fraction and just type everything in. You can make that guy a fraction if you wanted to. 12 times 30 is 360. And yes, these parentheses are important. Now, if you do have the fraction guy going here, technically these parentheses in the denominator are not important because the calculator knows to divide by that denominator as a fraction, but just for safe measure. Putting that in, we get 158,087, and again, let's go to the nearest penny, 99 cents. So that's one way to get the answer. The other way, if you have an 84 or 83 or above, you can go to apps. The first option there is finance, and then TVM solver, time value of money solver. Now, be aware that the letters here don't mean the same thing as the formulas. This N here, that's in bold, is the total number of payment periods, which was 12 times 30. Notice you can type in 12 times 30, and the calculator cleans it up as 360. And then it says I%, so type in the percent. Don't turn this into a decimal. Keep it at 6.25%. There is no PV in our formula, so anything that's not in the formula, leave it as a 0. Your payment, and here's where it gets quirky, make a negative number in the calculator. I don't know why they programmed it like this, but their explanation is the money is going away from you, which is a silly explanation. So make it negative 150 just to appease the calculator gods. P per year is payments per year. We got monthly. Compound per year, since we're doing ordinary, that's also monthly. So we'll type in 12. And notice when you type in 12 and move the cursor, it automatically puts a 12 in the C per Y. And all the ones we are doing, the payment is at the end of the cycle. So make sure it's got end highlighted down there. Put your cursor at FV, because that's what you want to solve for, and you hit alpha. And then enter, because notice the green, which is the same color as the alpha in my calculator, says the word solve. And notice we get the same answer, 158,087.99. Okay, how much was deposited? Well, we put in 150, 12 times a year for 30 years. I'm going to second quit out of here, and we'll type that in, 150 times essentially just 360. So $54,000 was deposited. How much interest was earned? Well, can I use I equals PRT? No. Why can't I use I equals PRT? Because there's 360 periods. You can only use I equals PRT when there's one and only one period. So how do you figure out the interest earned? You go back to the definition of interest. Money paid for the use of money. Over the 30 years, you gave the bank $54,000. After the 30 years, they gave you $158,000 in some change. So how much money was paid for the use of money? You just subtract. Oh, that should be an 8. It's a snowman. And you get what? 104,087.99. So this account made $104,087.99 in interest.